Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angels in Action. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whether you are on the live broadcast or on the replay, these messages, wisdom, and guidance from Spirit are just as important as if you were sitting here with me live. I'm going to show you here two little critters. I got my little critters here. Jackie and Gray, little Billy. So they were there with you guys for Friday for Furball Friday as well. So Susie and I were going to be on today together, and she had family pop in and surprise her. So that is okay. Let's cross our fingers again for next week. We have missed Susie, and I cannot wait till she gets back on with us. She is a soul sister of mine with so much genuine and authentic, wonderful wisdom to share. And she has so many amazing things going on. So if you guys get a chance, pop over, find Susie Antara Creative, find her beautiful cards she's been creating full of genuine wisdom. It's just amazing. So, but today we are here live with Spirit to share wisdom, guidance, and readings from Spirit for you. And sometimes messages even come through for other people that you know, family members or friends. Sometimes Spirit or Spirit teams are trying to get through for people that you know, right? For people that are connected to you. Oftentimes that's the only way Spirit has of getting through is, knowing that you're on a live somewhere and coming through, or knowing you're getting a reading from someone and coming through with messages for someone that might not even be on or would ever even get on a reading, okay? Or a live like this. So while we're waiting for people to log on, I'm going to go ahead and get started with setting the ambiance. Remember, that's important. I'm trying to lead by example. Again, I don't always do this if I'm not home. But when I am home, I like to light my candles, representing a connection between worlds. And, this includes, guys, don't forget, guys, today we're also connecting you with your spirit teams. And your spirit teams are your loved ones, your angels, your spirit guides, all of those committed to support you during this lifetime, okay? Teachers, whatnot, in spirit. But so I love to use candles because that energy, everything is energy, right? And the, fire representing one of the basic elements here in this world, it's energy. It changes, it flows, it transcends worlds. So it also alters and changes our senses. That's why I do these things. It sets the mood for us. So I went ahead and lit us a candle today. That's one thing we're going to be doing. And then I'm also going to light incense while I'm waiting for people. Hi, Tammy. I know you love it. It's so wonderful. I love having you here. I love it. I love when I have consistent people coming and joining us, because that is really what it takes is consistency. That's why I like the coaching and the masterminds that I do, because it is when you guys are showing up consistently like this for yourselves that you're going to get really the most out of it. Everyone needs things at a different level, but when you're consistent, that's when you really start making discoveries, having breakthroughs, making certain connections, building confidence in your own abilities. When you hear things not once or twice, but hundreds of times, that's when your mind starts processing them differently. And the observer behind your thoughts, moves forward because of them and relates to them with your mind. So it's a really important process. All right, we're going to light our incense as well. I want to remind all of you that, when you take this time out and you set the stage for yourself and you create a sacred hour, a sacred time and space, you are having such a huge impact on your reality. I think we'll start with some sandalwood today. Again, guys, I love the Ganeshi sticks. They're some of the best quality, that's also the most affordable. that has the least like chemicals and things in it, right? That's more natural. Because a lot of incense just has a lot of chemicals. My mom gave me these. She knows I love these. Sandalwood's a very ancient incense, a very ancient, they used it without it being incense. For thousands of years, they've been using sandalwood. But, it's important to take, oops, I blew that out. As you're creating a sacred time and space for yourself, you're also creating that sacred time and space within you and in your reality. And as a manifestation coach for over 14 years, creating space is one of the things that my clients always had the greatest challenge with. Hi, Lisa Jo, welcome. And it's because we tend to let our outer world dictate how we run our lives. And then we think life is happening to us instead of because of us. And when we do that, we stop creating space for what matters to us, for what we innately feel we need, for what we're drawn to, for what we're passionate about, for what we love, for what we like. And we start allowing ourselves to be a victim of our lives instead of the creators of our lives. And so this practice during this sacred hour, whenever I'm doing readings, is really priceless because unbeknownst to some of you, it's also helping you guys to create a habit or pattern, at least in here, that you have to create space for what you want in your life. It doesn't just pop in. You have to clear out some of the old. You have to create space for the new. And you have to do that consistently, right? Everything, remember, is habits and repetition. While you're here in human form, because you have a mind, your entire life is the result of habits and repetition, period. So this is super important to remember because when I'm having you guys set up for a sacred hour and you're literally and physically creating the space, I'm also a neuroscience person, guys, neurological reprogrammer. So what this is also doing for you is it's teaching you to creating new neurological programs that you have to create space. And so that's going to be very helpful for you as well, because, the things you don't want that are old, that you need to discard in your life, whether it be physical items or relationships or jobs or habits or ways of thinking and feeling, those need to be removed so you can create space for what you do want. So this creating space in the sacred hour is really important because, for those of you that say, well, I'm on a spiritual path now, or you're always on a spiritual path. That's who and what you are. Or I have a spiritual journey or my spiritual awakening or whatever it is you want to label it. Maybe you just want more peace in your life. Maybe you want a chance to relax or reflect. Maybe you want manifesting time, which I have my manifesting clients create literally every morning and evening. They have to take a chunk of their day, and that is just for manifesting. That's intentional manifesting, so that you're not being a victim of what's happening to you in your life. You're recognizing, okay, yes, life is not happening to me. It's happening because of me. And so therefore, I better be very vigilant about what I'm creating. And so this helps. This sacred hour today will help with that. Please make sure you leave all your gunk at the door and, come in a place of trust, a place of feeling as abundant as possible, because you attract who and what you are and what you're feeling at the time in each and every moment. Okay. Tammy says, so true. Susan Anderson, hello. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Melissa, thank you for asking. You must have popped on right after I shared sandalwood today. This was my mom and I love sandalwood. It's such an ancient incense. And sorry, I keep dropping stuff. It's an ancient incense, and it's just so wonderful. I love sandalwood. And so we're going to do that today. And then I've got a little jasmine. Hi, Anne Marie Newman. Welcome. So let me check on this for you guys. I went ahead and I posted already, just so all of you know who are in here. 8th will be the next Meet Your Spirit Guides, just so you guys know, for anyone that wants to tune in. And if for anyone that's needing a semi-private reading who maybe can't afford a full reading, that group reading. I only take 20 people. That will be on the 31st of this month. Okay, so if you guys are needing something more in depth, but you can't afford a full reading, or don't want to, I find it's also a great place to bring people that are maybe haven't had a reading before, or they're skeptical. It's fun because they can listen to some other people have their readings and get a little more comfortable. Hi, Christopher James. How are you? Oh, you're welcome. I love coming on Monday. Anyway, like I said, Susie was going to be on with me earlier. She had family show up. So here I am, but we'll cross our fingers for next week. Okay. I want to share a little bit of wisdom, and then we can get into readings and your questions. Something really significant popped up that Spirit wants me to share with you. And it popped up because I was working on the Awakening Your Intuition program that I'm writing and putting into. It's going to be an online program that you can do at your own pace. And at the same time, it's a 12-week mastermind. So you do the lessons and listen to the videos and do the exercises. And then we meet once a week for 90 minutes. And that group is a safe space for people like you to ask questions and all that and build confidence in their intuition. It's a metaphysical sampler. So there's 10 areas of metaphysics that we'll be studying once each week. Now, I was working on that program last night. Hi, Alni, welcome. It is a wonderful afternoon, Tammy, isn't it? And while I was working on that, something very, very profound came through that I'm including in the program. And it was something that I actually remember Dr. Joe Dispenza and other master teachers discussing over the years that I'd actually shared with my clients before in coaching programs, but in a different way. And it really brought to the surface how significant this is. And so I thought, you know what, this is a message from Spirit. I'm going to share it with all of you guys today because it's so significant. For some of you, you're going to take this and you're going to go, oh my God, like it's going to click. You're going to be ready to use it, or at least ready to realize it. And it's going to be profoundly life-changing. You might even say, wow, I want to get in the Awakening Your Intuition and learn this, which, by the way, that program's half off in August. Okay, it starts in September. But some of you, like I did for years when I read The Power of Now, some of you are going to hear this and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. And then that's all that's going to happen. It's not going to click. It's not going to register. You're not going to do anything with it. You're going to hear it. You're going to process it intellectually, but it's not going to have meaning for you. Hi, Donna Ray. From Holland. Omni, I love it. Here it is. Here's the nugget. Do with it what you will. Everyone is ready for different things at different times. This is what Eckhart Tolle tries to teach in a different way than what Dr. Joe is, how Dr. Joe is teaching it. But this has a very practical implication. What is one of the most common things that we all do, just habitually, because we all do it, and the ego loves to do it all the time? It's talk about and tell about what's happening in our lives. And this seems so innocent, doesn't it? You know, you're probably thinking, well, of course I talk about my lives. You go out to coffee with your friends. You talk about what's going on. You get on the phone with your girlfriend just to tell them what's going on. You have your family dinner. Your wife or husband comes home. You're at work. People, you see an old friend. Hey, how you doing? What is the most common thing we do to socialize? We talk about what's happening in our lives. Now, here's the nugget for you. If you stop doing that, if you stop talking about what's wrong in your life, what problems you have, what things you cannot change, how you're struggling to change them. What's wrong in your daughter's life? What your son is doing to you? How awful your sister is? Why your neighbor won't ever change? How you're going to deal with your boss? The chronic pain you got in your feet? Whatever it is that you are talking about and telling about over and over and over and over and over, that is not right in the present. You might be saying, but it is happening to me right now, Larkin. While you're sitting here with me, I ask you, how is that really affecting you? You might say it is. I have got this chronic pain that's going up my knee while I'm sitting here listening to you, Larkin. Or it is, that crazy sister of mine is texting me again while I'm trying to be on the broadcast. Or it is, I'm stressed about my money. But here's the thing. Like attracts like. The law of attraction is only one universal rule, guys. Only one universal law in thousands. We hardly even talk about the law of vibration. But one thing is for certain, energetically, you always get back what you put out. Always. You go where your attention is. Remember, energy goes where attention flows. Everything's energy. What you think is physical is energy. What you hear is energy. What you see is energy. What you're feeling and thinking is energy. Do you know how much electromagnetic energy is flowing through your heart and your brain? Even more through your heart. Go listen to Greg Braden. Okay. This is science, guys. I'm a science person. Science and spirituality are not mutually exclusive. Okay. This is science. I like to back everything up, whether it's a mediumship reading, a psychic reading, even my spirit guides, I have physical proof of. I have backed it up and done the research. Okay. So my point is, and again, this was something Dr. Joe had talked about years ago, but this was coming through while I was working on my program yesterday, to remind all of you that one of the most powerful ways to change and improve your situation in your life, no matter what the area, is to stop talking about your life. Because you see, your life is molded by your perception. It's created physically by that 95% of your mind you're unaware of that records and stores everything you experience. So whenever you experience it, you store it in there. Your reticular activating system weeds it out. Your 95% of your mind you're not aware of that feeds to the 5% of your conscious mind that is aware you're listening to me right now. Then that's how you choose what to type and what to say, and how you think you're choosing what you're thinking about, what you're watching right now. But it's actually that 95%. Your 95% decides all that. Okay. So when we want to change habits, we have to dig deeper. We have to bring that out. Then that observer behind your thoughts that Eckhart Tolle's talking about, that's who should really be in charge. That's the eternal you. So if we want to start creating through the mind from the eternal you must stop reiterating the reality that you want to change. Because as you reiterate it, you make it stronger. I have no money. I have no money. I have no money. I have no money. As Abraham Hicks says, where's the money in the bank account, Abraham? Well, the more you keep wondering that and asking that, the more you are reiterating and emphasizing that it's not there. And the whole beauty and irony of manifesting is that you get what you already feel and believe is real. This is what we get. Like, intellectually, people get this, but they don't get this. This is why my manifesting mindset clients usually work with me at least 2 to 3 years. It is a process to reprogram this so-called physical mind and body. Dr. Joe even says that to reverse disease. It takes him about 3 years of people working on stuff. So remember, your emotions are the mind and the body. So whatever emotions you're feeling about things, which is why you want to change things, right? Your emotions about a relationship or about a job or about your money situation or about your body or about age. Right now, our society's really focusing on making everybody over 35 feel old. You're not old. Don't believe it. It's bullshit. It's not true. If they don't make you feel old, then they can't make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of you. You are not old. I see all these clips on Facebook and everywhere. Right now, they're focused on celebrities, how so-and-so's 52 and she shouldn't be wearing this. She sure as hell should. Jeez, oh Pete's. I know 65-year-olds that look better in a bikini than a 25-year-old. Let people do what they want to do. Stop judging the age. If we keep people depressed and we keep them feeling bad about themselves, then guess what? They're going to spend money. They're going to need drugs. They're going to need therapists. They're going to need vacations. They're going to go on shopping sprees. Okay, this is intentional. So my point here is stop reiterating what you don't want. If you're sharing or telling or gossiping or feel that you need to vent about something in your life that you want to change that you don't like, stop. Just try it for a week and see what happens. This creates miracles, guys. But the problem is nobody does it long enough to create the miracle. I can vouch for this because I've done it, or I wouldn't be telling you about it with such passion. It works. It's one of the reasons I started coaching, was to share this with people. But you can't hear it from me or anyone else. You have to practice it on your own. If you really want transformation, not just change, you have got to stop focusing on what you don't want. And no matter what other techniques you use, no matter who you chase after, astrology, hypnotherapy, which I also do, all these things, no matter what you do, if you don't shift your focus away from constantly reiterating the things you want to change and transform, they will not change and transform. The form they show up in will change, because everything has to change, right? So the content will change, but the context will not. And you'll leave this world having not transformed anything. You'll be forced into some sort of growth as a human, but not as acquired and become who you wanted to. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Stop reiterating, stop talking about, gossiping, sharing, telling about your life. And here's the kicker, and Dr. Joe really focused on this. Focus on something bigger than yourself. Focus on something bigger than yourself, because that takes you beyond ego. See, ego will always focus on you. Thank you, Christopher. Ego will always focus on you. And this is the heartbreak, guys, this is why I drastically shifted my coaching. I was helping women build their businesses, and some of them got up to $1 million a year plus. And I didn't like their attitude change. And money does not change you. Money brings out who you are. But B, this was when I had been in the coaching industry for over 10 years, and I started to realize how many misguided coaches there are. They don't even realize it. We are living in a society, I'm sorry for this long rant, guys, we'll get into readings, but this is really important. We live in a society that encourages you, as a solution to all of your problems, to focus on you, to put you first, that it's okay to not care about anyone else. Put you first. What do you want? What do you desire? And I've done countless coaching programs, and I went through the brainwashing too. But here's the thing. When you focus on something greater than yourself, that's when the stress and anxiety and depression starts to fade away. That's when the joy and fulfillment and sense of purpose starts to come. All of you on here ask me, what is my purpose? What am I here to do? Stop it. Stop it. You're doing what you're here to do. You're here. You chose to be here, to learn, to love. It's not complicated. If you have a more intricate mission, hi, Savon, welcome. If you have a more complex mission, then we'll do in some spirit wisdom, and then we'll get to your readings, okay, in just a minute. If you guys have a more complex mission, it will come to you, but you have to stop focusing on you. Me, 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 me. What do I want? How can I feel this way? How can I get the relationship I want? Who's my soulmate? When we do that, that is a recipe for misery. It is a recipe to be never satisfied. It is a recipe that is a long, lifelong wild goose chase, chasing something that you're never going to get. Because when things come to you, they come to you even better than you wanted and you imagined, in forms and in ways you didn't know. That is the way it has to be. It is the way it has always been. That is how the universe works. So just keep in mind when you hear all this propaganda out online and all these coaches trying to tell you it's all about what you want. No, it's not. Start focusing on things beyond yourself, and you will start to have the joy, abundance, fulfillment that is beyond your wildest dreams. If you're just focused on reiterating about your life and what you want and how you're going to fix it, that is where you will stay. Okay? And this is both coming to you from me as a mindset coach for almost 15 years and as a lifelong intuitive psychic medium that is bringing this through from spirit and putting it in my program because it's this important. Okay, so please take this to heart. Thank you guys for listening. I went ahead and share that because you guys seem to be taking it in, and I hope that people actually even listen to this on the rebroadcast. Suzanne says that's why it's so important to keep things to yourself in private. Actually, yes. Actually, that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because when you don't, you give your power away. I am not saying, now guys, I went through graduate school for psychology. I am not saying that you can't tell people something. If you have severe depression or there's something you're scared about and you need to share, then there are times when, yes, you need to tell someone or talk to a therapist or tell people. I'm not saying keep everything a secret. I'm not a secretive person, but I'm a private person. But when we're just yapping, oh my God, this happened, let me call so-and-so, we're actually giving our energy away. We're not allowing ourselves to process and deal with our own feelings and emotions and thoughts on our own. What we're actually doing is we're giving that power away. We are subconsciously tossing it to a responsibility outside of ourselves, and then we can play the victim. So yes, it is important to keep things private. And Suzanne, I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to give you an alternative that I also walk people through in my Awakening Your Intuition program, and that is journaling. I know you guys hear this all the time, and for those of you who get sick of hearing it and you stop listening to me, that's fine, but this is the truth of it. The solutions are actually simple. They're not complicated. Journal and spend time in nature. Go talk to nature about it. I talk to trees about it, my spirit guides. This is why I want people to do the Meet Your Spirit Guides event so badly. Again, you don't want to keep reiterating it, not even to yourself, but you can sit down and talk to your spirit guides or take a walk in nature and try to work things out. Even a silent walk in nature. You guys, the ego tells you have to keep talking it out because you have to figure it out, right? The ego thinks when you're sharing and you're talking that you're fixing the problems, but you're not. You're just reattracting them again. When you're talking about all the things happening in your life that you want to fix and change, that 95% of your mind you're unaware of that's running your life has you convinced that you're fixing it because you're sharing it with those outside of yourself. And you're reiterating your mind. It thinks you're working on something. That's an illusion. It's a lie. When you're still and silent, when you take a silent walk in nature, or when you vent out the emotions in your journal and you're talking to your spirit guides in your journal, you're clearing out the crap and the garbage on the surface of your mind. And you are allowing that observer behind your thoughts that's a real eternal you and your spirit guide to come through and work through you with wisdom. Not, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Now let me tell you my story from a friend that's doing the same thing. But from your actual wisdom. Does this make sense? I don't know if you guys realize how powerful of a conversation this is. I know this isn't just going right into readings, but these are the types of discussions that we do in my mindset, in my Awakening Your Intuition masterminds. These are way more valuable than getting on and doing readings, let me tell you. Because readings, you're waiting for answers from the outside of yourself. This is spirit handing you right now what you need to do to transform your life. And that's much more important. All right. We'll get you in just a minute, Servan. I know I'm still not saying your name right. Such a beautiful name. I can hear it in my head and I can't say it. All right. Let's see. All things come to those who wait, as my mom always said. Yes. And yet, Suzanne, you want to make sure that you're not sitting around waiting for things to happen for you, because that doesn't work either, right? There's a line between patience and your choice in action. So, for example, all the women I know that sit around and wait at home for Prince Charming to come knock on their door, it's amazing how many women believe that. It's not going to happen. You have to actually get out there, do the things you like, meet people, interact with people, right? All right. So yes, there is a place for that, Suzanne. But we also have to make sure we don't just sit passively, right? Sometimes we need to know when to be still, like a game of chess, and we need to know when we have to make a choice and take action. Sometimes all we have to do is make the choice. All right. Let's see. You absolutely have to look at number 1 before you can help number 2 and 3, etc. Yeah. So Christopher James said this is a really good point. So self-awareness, though, is different than looking out for number 1, right? So what we're being taught in our world today is put yourself first. Think about what you want. Focus on what you want. Then deal with the rest of the world. Okay. Well, there's an element of truth to that, but it's been taken too far. Okay. We're not saying ignore yourself, but when we get caught up in what we want, in what we want to fix in our life and what we're going to do, think about it. You get so caught up in it, you get really upset then when you start to realize what you think you don't have. You get micromanaging and picky about what you have and what you don't want, and it makes you happy or unhappy. When you focus on serving a greater purpose, but yet the aspect of that you pay attention to with yourself is you become aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your choices. You become self-aware. That's different. That's a way of taking care of yourself. Self-aware that you're not getting enough sleep. Self-aware that maybe you're having abundance issues because you feel insecure about money. Self-aware that maybe one of the reasons you're not as abundant as you'd like to be is because maybe you're not as generous as you think. Okay. So the self-awareness is the looking out for number 1. It's most important. But as far as what you focus on, focusing on serving, focusing on something bigger than yourself, that allows the ego to sort of dissolve and take a backseat, and the observer behind your thought to move forward. And then you don't have to do all of that, making sure you're not being taken advantage of, making sure you've got boundaries, making sure you're living your best life. Everyone else has to do theirs. Yeah, that's true. But we really have to look at the way society is emphasizing it and what really creates more anxiety and depression, and us getting caught up on ourselves, right? So we have to look at, are we being self-centered? Yes, we need to know ourselves and focus from within with self-awareness. But as far as creating our lives and only and always thinking about what we want and how we can make things better for ourselves, that's where we need to step out and look at a greater purpose, because then we become the Dr. Wayne Dyers. Then we become the Dr. Joe Dispenses. Then we become the Mother Teresa's. Then we become whoever it is you guys look at, admire, that you see as a leader that has really made a difference in the world. That's how they did it. Okay. All right. Hi, Melissa. I'm starring yours and Sarah Vaughn's as well. We just had a really good discussion about this today, guys. And this is important because this combines your spiritual and metaphysical work with your mindset work. And you have to have all 3 of those in order to create transformation and confidence. My daughter bought me a t-shirt with the affirmation, write your own story. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I've been teaching that for years. That's exactly right. That's what you're doing one way or another. All right. So Melissa, we'll get back to you. Thank you guys for that amazing discussion. Wow, that was fun. All right. Let's see here. So what is it that you want a reading about? Say, Yvonne, what would you like a reading about? When you guys are, when you're asking for general readings, I'm just going to go ahead and do cards. Because again, on the free online readings, guys, there are always messages for you. And so since these, I go quicker and they're briefer than if you guys were to get on an angel party or schedule a private reading. I go ahead and I do the cards, which are super fun, just to see what general things are most important for you. So if you have a specific questions that you want, then you have to let me know. I have done it myself, Christopher. I have done it myself. What is your question? What is it you're wanting to know? I have done it myself. I've been doing it. That's why I'm sharing this. That's why it's in my program. It's amazing. So I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Yeah, I don't coach or share anything that I haven't done myself. But if there are some questions you have about what you need to do, let me know. But that's why I'm sharing it. I have done it and it's amazing. And I continue to do it constantly. This is what we do. And it's important, I believe, after all the years of coaching and discovering this, Christopher, I think it is important that people realize that there are these different perspectives. I've coached it both ways. And when you realize that this focusing on things outside of yourself, that means, maybe for me, one of the examples is, it's always been, though, naturally, animals, my love of nature and animals. I spend a lot of time taking care of rescuing and loving animals, educating people about communicating with nature and animals, right? And so it's, each person gets to find their own way of doing that. But I've always done that. I'm not the go to the salon, spend 3 hours getting my nails done. Instead, I'm on my hands and knees out in nature, out with the horses, taking care of animals. So that's one of the ways I focus on things greater than myself. I'm always focusing on things greater than myself. I'm almost never focused on myself, to be honest, Christopher. So everybody's got their own way of doing it. And for those of you that love to go get massages and go to the salon and get your nails done, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's different levels. What I'm saying is in our mindset, Christopher, in our mindset, when you're waking up every morning or going to bed thinking about how to get what you want and how to fix what you want, then that is going to just lead to more of that. But when you are focused on purposes greater than yourself, which, I can't help it. I've always been that way. But when you do that, there's always this sense of enthusiasm and passion and drive and ideas. I've got more ideas than I can handle because of that. And they're not about how to make my own life better. And it doesn't even have to be about serving the world, guys. It could be about making your own life better, as long as you're part of something bigger than yourself. And I always am. So I don't know, Christopher, that's my answer. Let's see. Leona, welcome. Let's see. General card. All right. I'm shuffling cards for you right now, Savon. You love nature too? That's awesome. Her second litter. Oh, Leona, you need to get that cat fixed. We don't need any more kittens in the world. Congratulations. But so many of them don't have homes. And do you have places that you can get her fixed around there? Because also as they get older, if they're not fixed, then they can get like different diseases and things better. They can get diseases and stuff like that. So, all right. All right. I'm trying to do Yvonne's card here. So what you're saying is that we can all do this for ourselves. Well, yeah, we have to. We have to all do it for ourselves, Christopher. That is a great question. We have to do it for ourselves. There's no one else that can do it for us. We have to be absolutely radically responsible for our own lives and what we manifest when we're here. It's kind of like a game being here. We're incarnating to play around with that and to wake up while we're here. And so, yes, you all have to do it for yourselves. That's why I do the mindset coaching and things that I do. No matter what's going on around us, we're each on our own path, and we have to be radically responsible for ourselves at all times. And that's when we become joyful, abundant, fulfilled. And one of the ways to do that is to take the focus off of ourselves, because when we're focused on ourselves, our ego's in charge. So yes, absolutely, Christopher, you got it. All right. I'm going to pick 3 cards for you. I'm not sure, Leona. I'll have to see if I can pick up on that. I think it's probably more likely she'll have them tomorrow, but we'll see. Let's see here. Thank you for your patience. Yvonne, I appreciate that. All right. So, this is kind of cool. So, and then we'll get back if you guys have comments and questions still on what I was saying. So, Yvonne, I have see only love. And a lot of this actually has to do with acceptance. So, whoever and whatever you are dealing with in your life, when we see through the eyes of love, and this is interesting because this goes with the topic we were just talking about, Christopher, too. When she says, I sometimes feel let down because of what I have to deal with very little support. Okay, so not to put you down, but I'm going to say this, and I'm saying this with love from your spirit guides, okay? What we were just talking about that you were asking for a reading for, which is fine. I'm glad you did. While I was sharing, and so I'm hoping you were listening to what I was sharing. This is the solution to what I was just talking about. Remember, Spirit knows who's on here. What I was talking about is the solution, Yvonne, to what you are saying right here. And I'm going to jump in. Your spirit guides are urging me to do this, so I'm going to do this as well. I like to mix some mindset work with this. Reread what you wrote to me. I'm not putting it down. I'm glad you shared it because this is going to help you, and the cards are going to help you. But when you say, because of what I have to deal with, that is a victim mentality. First of all, you don't have to deal with it. You believe you have to deal with it. You're allowing yourself to have to deal with it. You just don't know how not to right now. Okay. And then you're saying with very little support. That may be true. I'm not denying that that's true. But perhaps that's a message for you. See, when we're getting very little support, that's a message from the universe. That's a message from life. That's a message about the company we keep. So your spirit guides would ask you, so why are you expecting support from those types of people or from that situation? And your spirit guides ask you, why, if you believe you have to deal with this, how can you change the thing you're having to deal with? How can you deal with it differently? So you see, everything seems impossible and seems like you're stuck until you realize the options you don't know that you have. You don't realize the options that you have. That's why I do mindset coaching. Because you are human now too. Okay. So your spirit guides want me to point out the structure of your sentence there and what that says to someone like me who's a mindset coach. Okay. Now, part of the solution in general for you is this card. It's very difficult to see people and circumstances that seem to be taking from you, that are not helpful and supportive. It is very difficult to see those with the eyes of love. It can be. Until you realize it's not taking anything away from you. Okay? So one of the things, and I know this is really, really tough to do, but what your spirit guides are saying is step back, take a deep breath. And as though you were not involved and this wasn't putting anything upon you and making your life more difficult, look upon all the aspects of your situations with this. Okay? Seeing only with the eyes of love. Now, that does not mean you let everyone get away with things and walk all over you. Okay? Hold on here. I'm going to, we'll get back to you too, Leona, okay? Let's see. Support's not there, unfortunately, not government-wise. It's difficult. Yes, I know, not government-wise. That's not what I'm getting either. And here's the other thing. So here's the other thing. This is your next card. And it goes right in sync with what we're talking about. Here's what your spirit guides are telling you. First of all, you need to remove words from your vocabulary like unfortunately. Because every time you do that, you're creating more unfortunate energy in your life. So, see, you have free will. So whether you know it or not, you are holding the circumstances that you don't want in your life. You are holding the circumstances that you do not want in your life. And not only are your spirit guides telling me this, but I want you guys to also know that as a mindset coach, I'm telling you this. Okay. So this is really important to understand this. All right. And the other thing is it's okay that it's difficult. It is okay, guys, that things are difficult. When things are difficult, that it's a message. Obstacles are opportunities. Okay. So whereas it doesn't feel good, this card is release and surrender. When we release and surrender and the resistance reduces, what happens is then our circumstances must change. The problem is we're not always aware of how much resistance we actually have. We're not always aware of how much resistance we actually have. Okay. So, what do we mean by release and surrender? Surrender to the fact that your situation feels difficult. Surrender to the fact that you're not getting the support that you want and need. Okay. Now, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. And your spirit guides have been trying to encourage you to do this, but they're showing me that one of the most difficult things for them to do with any human is to get them to release the resistance. Now, Eckhart Tolle says, I hope you got the power of now already, Seven, because Eckhart Tolle reminds us that the ego is synonymous with the mind, which is synonymous with thought, which is synonymous with resistance. And resistance is the thing that gets in our way. That's the thing that makes our life difficult. So it is not your situation. It is your resistance to the situation that's making it so difficult. Once you release and accept things exactly the way they are, and you accept the people exactly the way they are, and that they're not helping and you don't have the support that you need, things will have to shift. They must shift. Why? Because you no longer have the resistance. And it is always the resistance of our mind that keeps things the way they are. That's what makes us feel stuck. Okay. Let's see. Hello, God Show. Welcome. I'm getting through to people's questions, so we'll try to get to you, okay? I'll get back to you too, Christopher. All right, so here's your last card. And notice the signs. I am going to have some free events, guys, to help us work through this type of thing that's going to introduce my Awakening Your Intuition program, which is half off only in August. If any of you want to go through the metaphysical sampler and learn to awaken your intuition and build confidence in it, I have some free events introducing that. Notice the signs. So this is so cool because these cards always coordinate with what your spirit guides are wanting to share with me. Signs can be anything. They're not always crystals and feathers and phone calls and license plates and billboards and commercials and songs. A lot of times signs are how we're feeling, or somebody hanging up on us, or a lot of times signs are the repetition or the habit of certain things happening. A lot of times our signs are the habits of certain things happening. Okay. So, this is really interesting because in your case, what your spirit guides are showing me is you got signs all across the board, Savon, all across the board. Some of your signs are coming in the form of emotion. Some of them are coming in the form of realizations, or, your interactions with other people that you don't like, or when you get frustrated. Okay. Those are signs, and signs are to guide and direct you in a different direction. Signs are to say, hey, you're going in a direction that's going to lead to joy and abundance and relaxation and good feelings and higher vibration. And sometimes signs are there to warn us and say, look, haven't you figured out yet that you keep repeating the same things? You need to try something different because this really feels crappy. Okay. And those are some of the signs that you're getting. Okay. So these cards are very important. All right. Again, I would encourage, if you can afford it, if you can make the time, it doesn't have to be with me. It is not getting on and asking for free readings that is going to change your life, guys. I hate to tell you this. Again, you do not have to work with me. I am not trying to get you to work with me. I am sincerely wanting you all to understand, and I've learned this in my own life. You will not change your life and your circumstances by getting on free readings. You just will not. You will have to invest more of yourself, more time, more effort, more energy, and energy is money. So probably more money. Doesn't have to be with me. But the reason you pay for coaches and things is because we have already put hundreds of thousands of dollars into our own work, and thousands of hours and years of our time and effort. Okay. So when we are charging for something, that's what we're charging for. If I want to do this kind of work, I have to charge something, or I'll be out on the street. So it doesn't have to be with me, but I would find some sort of more in-depth investing in yourself for this, because it has to be a habit and repetition. It's not change you want, it's transformation. Change is changing your clothes. Transformation is the caterpillar into the butterfly. The caterpillar can't fly, the butterfly can. Okay. So maybe your investment in yourself is just your time on what I've shared with you and getting The Power of Now, the book, The Power of Now, or finding it online. Okay. But you've got to do something that isn't you getting off of here and then you going back to your circumstance and then letting your ego sift and sort what I said and what your spirit guides just told you, and your ego judging what I shared today was right or wrong for you, because then you're right back in square one, like you never were here. You actually have to get off of here right now and take action. You have to take action. Okay. Do something different that came through today from your spirit guides. Okay. That is how you get transformation. Okay. Remember, to get transformation, you have to transform the 95% of your mind you're not aware of, guys. You have to as Dr. Joe says, get a new personality to create a new reality. And your spirit guides are trying so hard to help you with that. Okay. So again, if you want something less expensive and you want to, I have free events that'll be coming up. I've got the Meet Your Spirit Guides on the 14th of September. That's only $40. I've got the small group angel party reading. If you want something more in depth, on the 31st, get the power of now and just, make sure you're not in a victim mentality. Make sure you're accepting radical responsibility, and you can always change your perception. And when you do that and you reduce your resistance, things will have to start to shift. Okay. You're not stuck. You'll be okay. All right. I hope that helps you. You must remember that phrase, Suzanne. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. I will join one of your sessions. It's trying to figure out the time zone difference. It's easy. It's 5 hours. It's 5 hours. So right now it's 7:15 in where you are. I believe it's 7:15. If I've got you in the right place. I think you're in Ireland, right? It's 2:15 here. So it's pretty easy. All you got to do is get on your phone and type in what time is it in this part of the world or world clock, and it pops up. Okay. Yes. Awesome. Yes, it was a beautiful message. Thank you. Cancel your ego as soon as you can. Well, that's a great phrase, Christopher. I wouldn't say, so we can never fully eliminate our ego while we're in this world. We cannot eliminate the ego. But what we can do is we can make it go to the back seat, which is what you want, right? So as long as you're human, you're going to have an egoic self, period. End of story, right? But when we learn to put it in the back seat, that's when things are, we want our observer behind our thoughts to be in charge. So we've got to put the ego in the back seat, which means we have to be aware of it. Okay. Okay. I should be able to sort that out. You can. Your spirit guides gave me very simple, clear instructions for you. And I did as well. So if you get lost, come back and listen to this some. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to get through a couple of these real quick, and then I have to actually get going because I got to get horse grain and be back here in time for 4 o'clock. I have a 4 o'clock live. Let's see. Yes, after she's getting neutered. We've kept all the animals. I love it, Leona. That's wonderful. Mwah. And don't let her outside. Guys, domestic cats do not belong outside. I had one that used to go out and come in like a puppy dog in the backyard, and he was fixed. I had a privacy fence. He wouldn't go anywhere. But cats they ruin the natural flow of the natural system of things because they're an invasive species. They kill birds they shouldn't be killing. They eat things they shouldn't be eating. They are susceptible to so many diseases, feline leukemia, feline HIV. Their lifespans are cut in less than half if they're outside. So make sure that if you guys have domestic cats, unless you have them temporarily in a yard or on a lead with you, don't let them roam. Please don't let them out. They can be picked up by hawks and owls and foxes and coyotes. And, it's just, it's a mess. It's not good for them. It's not good for the environment. But good. I'm so glad you're getting her fixed. Yes. Congratulations on your baby kittens. I definitely think, in the next 48 hours, you'll have those babies. All right. Let's see. Oh, animals. We have 2 pigs, 1 cat, 1 dog. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. That's fantastic, Melissa. I love it. That is fantastic. Let's see here. Melissa. It'll be 1 year anniversary of my dad's passing on Friday. Thank you. Say hi to Dad. Thank you, Larkin, for connecting me to him. I appreciate you. You're so welcome. A shout out to your dad. And Melissa, that he can hear you and that you're always able to be heard and seen and felt by him. So you can talk to him anytime, and he knows what you're thinking and feeling and what you're saying to him. He's a precious soul. I really, really enjoyed connecting with him. And I hope that you can do something very, very special just to honor and celebrate him. I'm sure that you will. And, you know, as his spirit family is celebrating, you know, with him in heaven as well. Because there's such sacred transitions in and out of this world. It's such a wonderful thing. So thank you for sharing that with us, Melissa. All right, guys, I am going to have to get off. I'm going to, let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Leona. Yeah. Well, just remember, from her perspective on her side, it's just been like this. She's still in the now, right? I know in physical form, we really, really miss them, right? So one of the ways that we can really express our love and that is by sharing with them how much we love and appreciate them. And that actually will reverberate within you, Leona, and it will be really healing and loving to you to just send so much love and gratitude towards her. And it'll be easier for you to feel that connection, and that'll be very, very healing for you. All right, guys, I'm going to have to get off. I just, you know, this isn't something that I do. So I would just maybe suggest that you go to a, you know, some dermatologists do, you know, treatments, not just necessarily, you don't necessarily need surgery, but some of them do treatments for things like that. Maybe facial yoga. I think that I've heard that works very well. Different exercises to strengthen the muscles in here that helps reduce the fat and tighten the muscles in our face. Those are my best suggestions for you. On here, we're doing conversations with spirit and our spirit teams. So those are my best suggestions. So thank you for tuning in with us, guys. Let's see. You're so welcome. Beautiful messages. Thank you, Larkin. Wishing you love and light. You're so welcome. Hopefully, Susie will be back with us next week. I'm on Veronica Jenkins. Find me a meeting group at 4 today. I look forward to seeing all of you. And don't forget, check my pinned posts down here to see if any of those events you want to join while there's still spaces. Don't forget the Awakening Your Intuition program. If you want more of this intensely and to build your confidence in a bunch of different metaphysical areas and your own intuition, is half price for August. I'm going to have some more fun events where you guys can ask about that. But I'll be posting that. That's now available for you guys if you want to do more of this intensely. Okay. I'll see you guys next Monday. Love you all. Bye, Omni. See you all. Bye-bye.